and welcome to the eFresh.com fruit, vegetables, and potato news. Today is the 10th of November. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Apple growers fear Chinese imports. Venezuela halts food imports from Colombia. Himachal apple output down 50%. New law to test citrus for pests. U.S. potato exports higher. Western Australia growers say plans by the federal government to lift import restrictions on Chinese apples pose major risks to the state's biosecurity and profitability of the industry. The government is considering the move in exchange for Australian access to China's fruit markets. A risk analysis conducted by national quarantine regulator Biosecurity Australia referred its report to the eminent scientist group for review. Manjimup fruit grower and Apple and Pear Australia WA Director Vic Grozodis said Chinese apples had many exotic diseases that could destroy local growers. He said the Chinese have the ability to land an 18-kilogram carton of Chinese Fuji's in Sydney for $18, which is below the cost of production for Australian producers. Far from being resolved, commercial relations between the governments of Venezuela and Colombia are tending to worsen. The national executive is not reversing its decision to substitute imports of products and raw materials from the neighboring country. Nutrition Minister Felix Osorio told that his office has not authorized licenses for food imports from Colombia since the month of September. He indicated that for the licenses that were issued in May have been executed recently, the business owners who want to bring in products must do so on their own account. The end of commercial relations between the two countries will have no effect on the supply of food in the national market, since he says that deals have already been closed with Brazil, Bolivia, Argentina, Nicaragua, Paraguay to replace Colombia. Farmers said an almost snowless winter and a weak monsoon took a heavy toll on apple crop in the Indian state of Himachal. Aware of these factors, the state horticulture department in late June scaled down the production forecast to 18 million boxes. But the production fell much more than this. Officials say under the market intervention scheme, barely 913 tons of apples were procured by the state government this year. This is the lowest ever procurement by the state. Last year, 45,500 tons of apples were procured for processing into juices, jams, and chutney, among other products. Rajiv Chauhan, one of the largest apple growers in the state, told that perhaps the only relief for farmers this season was that they were able to fetch high prices for their produce. California's citrus nursery industry will be required to test young trees for harmful diseases as part of a new law. The bill grew out of concern over protecting against citrus greening, a tree-killing disease that has ravaged Florida's orange industry. The disease, also known as huanglongbing, can be carried by the Asian citrus psyllid, an aphid-sized bug that has been found in Southern California. The most recent discovery of the bug was in rural San Diego County. So far, citrus greening has not been found in California Grove, and officials want to keep it that way. The state's citrus industry is valued at $1.6 billion. The new law calls for a mandatory testing program for citrus nursery stock and gives the California Department of Food and Agriculture the authority to add new pests and diseases to the program. During the 2008-2009 marketing year, U.S. exports of all potatoes and potato products, including starch and dextrins, totaled $1.19 billion, 2% above a year earlier. Japan remained the top foreign potato export market with 28% of the total, led by movement of frozen French fries, potato chips, and miscellaneous frozen products. Japan was followed by Canada 24% of export value, Mexico 11%, South Korea 5%, and Hong Kong 4%. Export volume was mixed, with reduced volume of frozen French fries, potato chips, and granules nearly offset by increased shipments of fresh potatoes, seed, and other potato products. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com fruit, vegetables, and potato news. See you next time.